Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something that's absolutely crucial for anyone stepping into the world of science, academia, or even for curious minds who want to understand how knowledge is built. This is Research Methodology 101, the real how-to of science. If you've ever wondered how researchers turn ideas into solid evidence, or why some studies feel trustworthy while others fall apart under scrutiny, this is your guide. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll have a clear framework for designing your own research with confidence. When you're working on a major project, like a thesis or a research report, it's very easy to focus on the what and the why. The what sits in your introduction, where you outline the topic, and the why is usually covered in the literature review, where you explain what we already know and what gaps still exist. But the real backbone of any serious study is the methodology section. This is the how. It explains exactly how you carried out your study, step by step, and it acts like a blueprint for your entire investigation. Without a clear methodology, your work loses credibility because other researchers cannot verify it or build on it. A useful way to think about methodology is as a recipe. You don't just say you baked a cake. You explain the ingredients, the measurements, the temperature, and the timing. In the same way, your methodology must be detailed enough that someone else could follow it and reasonably expect similar results. Replication is at the heart of scientific research, and this is what separates solid evidence from guesswork. However, methodology is not just a list of procedures. You also need to justify your choices. Why did you choose surveys instead of interviews? Why did you collect data from 50 participants rather than 500? These decisions are never random. They should be linked to your research question, your objectives, your resources, and practical constraints like time and access. Explaining the reasoning behind your choices builds trust with the reader and shows that your study has been carefully designed rather than thrown together. To design a strong methodology, you first need to understand the main research approaches. Quantitative research focuses on numbers, measurement, and statistical analysis. It is especially useful when you want to test a hypothesis or examine relationships between variables. For example, if you want to test whether coffee increases productivity, you might measure hours worked or tasks completed and analyze the results statistically. This approach is often linked to the idea that there is an objective reality that can be measured and analyzed using data. In contrast, qualitative research focuses on words, meanings, and experiences. It is exploratory and is often used when you want to understand how people think or feel about an issue. Interviews about experiences of remote working, for instance, allow you to identify themes and patterns in people's narratives rather than reducing their views to numbers. Then there is mixed methods research, which combines both approaches. You might begin with a survey to identify a general trend and then follow up with interviews to understand the reasons behind that trend. By combining breadth and depth, mixed methods research can provide a more complete and nuanced picture. Once you have chosen your research approach, the next key decision is sampling. In theory, the population is the entire group you are interested in, such as all university students in a country. In practice, studying everyone is impossible, so you select a sample, a smaller group that represents the population. The aim is always to reduce bias and ensure your findings are as meaningful as possible. Probability sampling uses random selection, giving everyone an equal chance of being included, and methods like simple random sampling or stratified sampling allow results to be more confidently generalized. However, probability sampling is not always realistic, particularly for student projects with limited time and access. This is where non-probability sampling becomes useful. Convenience sampling, purposive sampling, or snowball sampling are often more practical and can be especially valuable when studying specific or hard-to-reach groups. The key point is not that one method is always better than another, but that you clearly explain your choice and acknowledge its limitations. After sampling comes data collection, the stage where you actually gather information. In qualitative research, interviews are a powerful tool because they allow in-depth exploration of participants' experiences and perspectives. Focus groups add another dimension by encouraging discussion and interaction, often revealing insights that might not emerge in one-to-one settings. In quantitative research, surveys are widely used because they allow data to be collected efficiently from a large number of respondents, especially when using structured questions and online tools. Observation is another important method, involving the systematic recording of behavior in real settings, which can reveal patterns people may not report themselves. Across all data collection methods, ethics are essential. Participants must give informed consent, their privacy must be protected, and the research must avoid harm. Ethical practice is not optional, it is a core part of credible research. Once data has been collected, analysis is where meaning is created. In qualitative analysis, this usually involves identifying themes and patterns in the data, often through techniques such as coding and content analysis. The researcher interprets the data while remaining aware of their own assumptions and potential biases. In quantitative analysis, researchers often begin with descriptive statistics, such as averages and percentages, to summarize the data. Inferential statistics then allow researchers to test hypotheses, examine relationships, and assess whether results are statistically significant or likely due to chance. Importantly, analysis should always link back to the original research question, rather than becoming an exercise in numbers or themes for their own sake. To conclude, the key to strong research methodology is alignment. Your research question, design, data collection, and analysis must all fit together logically. Your methods should be ethical, transparent, realistic, and replicable. There is no single perfect method, only methods that are more or less appropriate for a particular question. When methodology is done well, it transforms curiosity into credible knowledge. If this video has helped you think differently about your own research, feel free to share your project ideas in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe for more academic skills content, and I'll see you in the next video.